And then next time you're going to feel it again. And we're going to feel it till you don't feel it anymore. And then afterwards, and Dave did this so much with me. Afterwards, I was like, hey, what's changed? Because you just felt that and you went through it, and what's changed? And she said, nothing. I'm still in the same seat. I still have money in the bank. And I'm like, yeah, it's just the realization that your feelings are not the truth, and your thoughts about things are not always the truth.
Absolutely.
And so I went through, 2.5 years of that with Dave, of just every thought, every belief, every experience going into the somatic. And then we did some NLP work as well, and went back and reframed memories, and then worked through the feelings. And so that was my experience. And that's what I tend to take a lot of my clients through as well, is just what goes on in the body.
What goes in the body. Absolutely. And prior to doing that work, you were feeling a lot of things, right? A lot of things were coming at you for your health, I would suspect, right? And tell us a little bit about that for you. What was coming up for you health-wise as you were going through this work of trauma and reliving these memories and things coming back to you? How did all that coincide together?
So the first thing that I was diagnosed with was epilepsy. And this was 7 years ago, right around there, when they didn't have they didn't know as much about it. And so I started having seizures when I was 20 years old. And so the first time they didn't even really believe it was a seizure. And so they just said, go home. If it happens again, let us know. And so the second time somebody witnessed it, and it was a different type of seizure. And so went back to the hospital again, and they said, they ran the gamut of tests, the MRIs, the EEGs, everything, and they could find absolutely nothing.
Right.
And so there's no family history of it, no head trauma as a kid, nothing that any of the medical professionals were looking for, right? And so they said, well, we'll put you on medication. I was on medication for a year, didn't have a seizure. They started to wean me off. As soon as I got off, started having them again. They said, we're going to put you on medication for the rest of your life. That was the first thing that I dealt with. The second thing, and even on medication, I would still have seizures. You guys know, lack of sleep, stress. But mine was different. It wasn't when I got tired, and it wasn't when I got stressed out. It was when I was coming down from that stress, or after I'd caught up on the sleep. And so I lived my life in some state of stress and tired just to not have seizures.